have it there.
Well, thank you very much. I obviously agree with everything that's been said, and I certainly thank the President for his support for the actions he's taking to bring money to New York, for his support of legislation in order to solve this problem. You know, it is said that by the NRA, and I remember in 2004 when we passed when a Republican Congress passed that bill to exempt gun manufacturers from lawsuits because they were being sued on the model of the tobacco companies who had been sued for falsifying the information about the toxicity of their product. And they managed to pass this legislation, which is still on the books. And the President, who was then a senator, was instrumental in 1994 in getting the assault weapons ban passed, but it was a 10-year bill, and it was allowed to expire in 2004, and I wish we could get it back. The legislation that we have passed in Congress is wholly inadequate. Now, the Judiciary Committee has passed, the House has passed two bills, H.R. 8, which requires a background check on every gun or transfer with limited exceptions, such as family members. We passed the Enhanced Background Checks Act of 2021 last March, which addresses the Charleston loophole in background check procedures. This loophole is that when an individual attempts to purchase a firearm from a licensed dealer, the FBI has 3 days to complete a background check. And if the background check isn't completed in 3 days, he gets the gun, even if the background check would come back in 4 or 5 days and say that this person is a dangerous person to have the gun. So we passed the Enhanced Background Checks Act of 2021, which addresses this deficiency by providing the FBI additional time to complete background checks, gives notice to the FBI about which cases need to be prioritized for review. And the Judiciary Committee, in October of last year, only a few months ago, reported favorably out of committee Lucy McBath's bill, red flag bill, which would create a federal extreme risk, or red flag law, as we call it, that would prevent firearms from being accessible to those who are a danger to themselves and others. The bill would create procedures for federal courts to issue extreme risk protection orders to prohibit a person from purchasing, possessing, or receiving a firearm or ammunition. Under the bill, a family or household member or a law enforcement officer can petition the court for an extreme risk protection order with respect to an individual who poses a risk to themselves or others. The bill also adds people who are subject to an extreme risk protection order to the categories of persons prohibited from purchasing, shipping, transporting, possessing, or receiving a firearm or ammunition under federal law. Now, in the last Congress, in the 116th Congress, the Senate companion to this bill was introduced by Lindsey Graham. The concept was championed by none other than President Trump in a series of 2019 statements on mass shootings. Senator Graham has not reintroduced the bill yet in the 117th Congress, but we're talking to him. Leadership has expressed support, given its bipartisan origins and outreach by Representative McBath and others, by committee staff. The bill, we hope, will find Republican support of the House floor, and I believe that this bill is the best hope for legislative action on gun violence in what remains of this Congress. Now, of course, this is wholly inadequate, and that's why everything the President is talking about and the Attorney General is talking about doing by executive order, which should be law, but we haven't been able to make it law, should be done by executive order, and hopefully, eventually by law.